Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm James from eDirectory, and this is Emerson joining me today. Welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here. And let's get started. All right, today we're talking about keyword research specifically for online directories. I know this is a topic near and dear to everybody's hearts, so we're hoping to do a deep dive in this today. I'm going to talk a little bit about a sort of a general overview, and then I'll turn it over to Emerson, who's our marketing manager and who's an expert on this subject. Okay, great. And if anybody has any questions or comments, you can drop them into the Q&A section on the Zoom panel there, on the webinar panel. And we'll stop periodically to address those and pick them up, especially at the end. Okay, great. Okay, so first, search engine optimization. It's a very important topic. Directories are actually really great at SEO just naturally because they have quite a bit of data in them, quite a bit of pages and that sort of thing. Many of our directory sites that we see from our customers, they typically generate anywhere from 60 to 80% of their traffic from search engines. And that search traffic is actually really important traffic because users are looking for things and you're helping them find it. And that connection that you're making there is really the value of the directory, and it's the value add that you're providing. So the big question, of course, everybody has is how to get to the top of the SERP. SERP is a term you'll probably hear a few times today, search engine results pages. And it is very important. There's a study, I think, from not too long ago that did put some numbers to the positions and what they're sort of worth. And I think position one, as you can see here, 31% of the people click the number one, then number 2, 3, 4, etc. So position, 5 is only worth about a third of, what the top position is. So in getting off the first page, it's tough. You really got to try to be on the first page. And so the search engine optimization is extraordinarily important for this. One thing just related to this, it is often tough to be on the first page for very, very specific keywords, but if you bring more keywords into the mix, then you can get onto the first pages and you present that to your sponsors as you're trying to sell and close up listings. So anyway, before we get started, one thing I just wanted to mention, generally speaking, we often have a lot of new directory customers. They call, they ask for a reference on an SEO company. I talk to them a little bit, etc. One thing I wanted to mention is, depending on what your budget is, you may just want to spend all of your money and all of your time actually producing content instead of worrying about optimizing everything. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I got to do SEO, I got to do SEO, and you do, it's important, but producing content that people actually want to read is much more important. That's at the fundamental of it. So content first, optimize second in terms of your priority order. You'll find that Google is pretty smart these days, and the quality of content, often sort of bubbles up to the top there. So quality content, very, very important. And then another question I often get is, should I hire a consultant to do the SEO for me? I don't know too much about it, or should I try to do it myself? And my advice nearly always is, when you're just getting started, I think it's important you kind of learn enough about SEO before you hire somebody. And you may want to hire them at some point, but you really need to understand what they're doing, the work they're doing, if the answers they're giving you, are accurate, if they're working in the right ways, that type of thing. And so I typically recommend the first couple passes for a new site, you do that stuff yourself. Often you'll find that the subject matter better than the SEO consultant anyway, and so you can do a part of that job much better than somebody that doesn't have the domain expertise. And there's a ton of just resources out there for you to learn and get the expertise in this area. The one that I'll recommend is Moz.com. They have tools and stuff that they sell, but just their resource section on the website is really good. They have a in-depth beginner's guide that you can go through. And if you've read through all that, you'll find that you know a fair amount about it. And you can probably do steps, the first steps of this yourself. And then when you're out trying to hire an SEO consultant, you'll find you're able to separate, the really good ones from the kind of, the hucksters or whatever for that. Okay, so generally in SEO, there's a whole bunch of things that go into it. Obviously, you want the first position. It looks pretty easy to do. Google has something like 200 different little indicators that they use to decide who's up first, second, third, etc. on the site for various keywords. SEO, backlinking, content, speed, crawlability, mobile, security, etc. Typically, SEO is divided into two things, two sort of general areas. One of them is sort of the on-page SEO, on-site SEO, and then off-page or off-site SEO. And each one of these has a bunch of different things here. I think I stole this slide here from Neil Patel, who has a bunch of SEO content on the internet, just to give him some credit there. But basically, the on-site stuff is like what you have on your site, the content, the HTML, as well as things like the page load speed, URLs, are the URLs nice and clean, the indexing, that sort of thing is the SEO, what's in bold, what's strong, all that sort of thing. The off-site stuff is a lot of, what links are coming into it, what your social reputation is, how long have you had the domain, all that sort of stuff is more the off-site SEO. Today, we're going to focus primarily on keyword research, which is essentially understanding what your audience wants to find, what your audience is looking for. And that's why you do keyword research, what they want to do. And then what you're trying to do is discover which keywords specifically you want to target. But more than that, the research part of it is often understanding the popularity of these different keywords, and then how difficult is it to rank for some of these keywords. So you know what battles to fight. You want to fight battles that you can certainly win with that. So that's the whole point of keyword research. So there's a couple general steps here, and then I'm going to turn it over to Emerson to go into the specifics. Step one is generally just making a list of important, relevant topics based on what you know about your segment, and just sort of setting up the general topics there. It's typically recommended you put these into 5 or 10 different buckets. When you're just doing a smaller site, keep the buckets small. You just want to try to start with a few. You'll be doing this, forever, and so it's a good idea to start small and really do well, and then expand instead of trying to do everything and spreading the peanut butter very thin on that. So anyway, after you make the list of the topic buckets, then what you want to do typically is fill in the topic buckets with relevant keywords. So say we're doing, a restaurant guide, and one of the topics is sort of, Thai food or something along those. You think up all that would be, you have a Thai food bucket, and then within that, you can go through and think about all the relevant keywords for that. So you may have Thai food, and then there's, this wonderful Thai soup, tom yum soup. And then things around it that may be sort of relevant tangential keywords, lemongrass, Thai restaurant, Thai food delivery, etc. So you want to fill in everything you can possibly think of there with that. And then step 3 is typically to try to understand the intent of these specific queries, and then sort of group those together. So you can see all these keywords here are sort of related, but some of these queries may be relating to, like, I want to order myself a big bowl of tom yum soup, and the other one is like, I want to make food myself. I want to make it myself, and what's the recipe and ingredients to be able to do that. And it's really it's important to sort of understand this intent and set up your pages and accordingly. for this, because I've often seen directories, restaurant directories and stuff, and they don't even think about the word delivery, and so that's such an important piece of that, typically, that goes into their delivery time, all that sort of thing with it. So understand the intent, and then sort of putting all these things together. And then you'll use tools and research that Emerson's going to show you here in a second, to find a lot of these words and really get things filled in. And so one of the things you can do is obviously just the Google autocomplete. So if you search for tom yum soup, you'll see all these different things that come in with it. With the thing in the autocomplete at the bottom of the search results also is just related searches. And so that comes up as well, and then you can use those. There's also a bunch of SEO specific tools that do this in scale, and then with much more sort of refined values here for that. And then after you've kind of got all that set, then you need to understand what you want to target. And so generally it comes down to relevant to your mission, which is trying to bring your sponsors or trying to bring traffic into certain things. So is it relevant to what you're trying to do? And then second, are you authoritative on it? So the Google, they put the authoritative page or content up first, and to make yourself authoritative, there's a whole bunch that goes into it. It's probably a topic of a whole nother webinar altogether. A lot of it is actually off-page stuff in terms of who is linking to your content, that type of thing. What is your how old is your your page, your content been around? How many people are visiting it? All that sort of stuff as well. And then how much volume is on that keyword is the other thing. So if you can be relevant, authoritative on the content, and then how much volume is there? Is it sufficient that you want to hit it? Because you don't want to go and set up your business in an empty town. They say, is there actually some volume on the stuff you're trying to target? Is important as well. So then you pick your keywords, and then once you have that done, then it's often recommended that you use sort of a mix of head and tail keywords. So the Thai food would be sort of the head. The head is this whole idea of Google long tail, which you can research. Basically, it's like the things at the head have a whole bunch of target. They're very competitive, but they have a whole bunch of traffic on them. They're often broader words, and then the tail is very, very specific phrases that are into it. So like, tom yum soup delivery would be a tail word, whereas Thai food would be a head word. And so you kind of mix those up when you're putting your content together. Understanding the competition is really, really important for that. So a lot of these tools will help you research your competition and do that. And then when you're thinking about the competition, it's really important that you produce content that is better than your competition on answering the specific intent. So if I want to order tom yum soup, is this page going to really help me find something that's going to fill the intent? Is it near me? Do they have delivery? Do they have all these things for it around that? What's in the tom yum soup? All those kind of things. And so this whole idea of producing content that's better than the competition, I think you should think about that every day with every page you're touching or putting up, or every listing you're editing, and do you have the best information, the best content out there? And I think you'll find that if you're really intent yourself on putting up quality, you'll see that your rank and your success goes way, way up for that. So look at your competition. Do they have better content than you? If they do, just put the work in and get it done, and make your images better, make your content better, optimize it, make sure you fulfill the intent of what people are looking for there. So now with that, I'll turn it over to Emerson, and he'll get into some more of the specifics here. If anybody has any questions or anything at this point, just pop them in and we'll answer them. Okay, great. Thanks, Emerson.
Okay, thank you, James. Hello, everybody. I'm trying to make it short and to the point. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what to optimize, how to get the data to optimize, how to filter this data, and where to optimize this all information inside your eDirectory website. So I'm going to share my screen here. So I can show you better about everything. James, I'm switching the screens here, so I'm not watching the questions and this kind of thing. So please keep an eye on that for me. Okay, I believe you are all seeing my screen right now. So that's it. Inside the directory, the best strategy for optimization is to optimize categories and locations first. Why that? Because maybe you are still trying to develop your content and curate this content to have pretty sharp listings in events, classifieds, etc. So the best strategy is to start with categories and locations, and then optimize the homepage. You have to optimize on the front end the title tags and on the back end the SEO and metadata. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's pretty easy. It's just a matter of knowing the process. And how to optimize, how to find the best keywords for your project. You must start using, as James mentioned, the Google search. We have here, I'm going to take as an example this category, beauty and fitness. It's my demo website. So let's take this as an example. For beauty and fitness, this is a sample search on Google. So the autocomplete will show you the most relevant search terms. So if Google is showing this to you, it means that it has some good value for your project. So you should be looking for ranking these terms as well. So type in this, copy these terms into your empty spreadsheet and start building this for category of your site. Optimizing locations is pretty much easier, so I'm going to talk about location categories first. So add this these options on your spreadsheet. At the bottom of the page, you will see the related searches that may be different from the autocomplete. So if you notice anything different or important or relevant to your specific projects, be sure to copy this to your spreadsheet. The other part is using Google Search Console. This already shows you what brings you traffic. So if you access your Google Search Console and you go to performance report, you see the queries that already brings you traffic. So you can use this as well to understand where your traffic is coming from and use this information to optimize what you already have and what you want to rank better. Another part of this data gathering is using tools like SEMrush or Ubersuggest. That's from Neil Patel group, which is a good tool, and there are both have free options, so you can start with no cost to analyze this technical information. So we have here this domain overview, which is the most basic SEO part of this type of tool to analyze a domain and see the competition, the keywords and keywords difficult, where you have more chances to rank higher, where you're going to have hard times to beat the competition, but it all starts with this kind of information. So it's just a quick overview of this SEMrush tool. You see the organic traffic based on the CTR, so it's not a real data. It's based on it's an estimation based on the CTR they have on Google.
So CTR is click-through rate, just for people that aren't experts in this field.
Yeah, thank you, James. So it's the amount of times that a keyword is printed on the screen on a search page, and how much of that you are getting clicks. So that's it. It's a ratio. So here you have your top organic keywords. So what brings you traffic as well. So you can use that to optimize. Maybe you are going to be surprised to know what's really bringing traffic. Maybe something different that your target. So you need to make some adjustments on your project. It's a good option to review all your strategy. And this tool also gives you some competitors, which sometimes it's not a competitor, but they understand it is. So you can also analyze the domain using the same tool to analyze your competitors and have this information of keywords, pages, traffic, etc. So you can have a better picture of your niche. And okay, now you have this your spreadsheet with your buckets for categories, etc. And how we're going to filter that, what we're going to use to filter and see what brings you more volume, search volume, which is the higher chances of traffic. SMrush already gives some information about volume, but you can do a fine-tune research on Google Keyword Planner. It's for AdWords Keyword Planner. You have this link over here. You can just create an account on Google AdWords. You don't need to pay anything for them to have an account. So just click on Tools and Settings, and you'll see the Keyword Planner. You can use this to discover new keywords based on what you already have, or you can have the search volume and forecasts to really understand what brings volume, what have volume, search volume for every month, etc. And based on this report, you can see what's more important for your project, so you can better decide where to optimize first, because at some point you see that eDirectory has around 10 fields, the keyword fields for the SEO part of the software. It's limited to 10 keywords, because more than that is not useful for Google, for rankings. So you have this limits of 10 keywords for pages, locations, even for listings, classifieds, etc. It's a good number, to be honest, because you want to have more than 15 different keywords on your page, and you do that. If you do that, Google can consider this as what's the term, as keyword stuffing. So you can get penalized if you use more keywords than this 10 we have on the system. So here we can just type this beauty and fitness, just to have an idea of how it works and what we're going to see using this. Okay, based on the country, you can select, of course, the country you are, the language, if it's on Google search, and the data, the time range. So changing these settings, you are going to have different results here. The number of the monthly searches on average, the competition on that, if you have another information for ad impression, if you already have an AdWords campaign running. So the main most important information here is the average monthly searches. If a keyword has more volume, that's more important for your project. You will have more chances to get traffic from that keyword. Okay, moving forward, where to optimize. So it's a hands-on part of this presentation. I'm going to show you my demo website. Because as I mentioned, you can start optimizing locations and categories. For locations, I have this one ready here. Okay, let me log in again. To optimize locations, it's pretty simple. Just go to settings, language and geography, location data, and then you're going to pick up a country, a city, a neighborhood, even a neighborhood, which is fantastic to optimize for that. Let me just edit a country here. You have just the basic information about the country, abbreviation, and the SEO data. So you need this. The basic of SEO is to align the page title, the slug URL, which is also known as friendly URL, the meta keywords, and meta description. This is the basic. So if you have for example, here, let me show is Austria, because Australia is just AU. So I'm going to use Austria here just to. This is just a simple example. Find good quality content in Austria. It's just an example of a simple meta description. That's how it works. You have to put the main keywords in all the fields. So we have Austria here, 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 and here. So this is the most basic of location optimization. This is for a general online directory. So if you have a niche directory, for example, lawyers, you can use that location optimization like lawyers in Austria, for example. So it helps to be even more specific. So Google and other search engines will understand even better what your site is about, and you have higher chances to rank better.
Yeah, so just to add there, on some of the locations, you may want to put in some of the category keywords as well. So if your directory is specific on lawyers, you may want to put like lawyers in, city name and this type of SEO area here, because that helps the page title if somebody just is clicking on the location.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so this is for location. So let me talk about categories right now. I'm going just to show the categories for listings, but the process is the same for all the modules. So we have here content, listings. Then we'll have here categories. And our test one, beauty and fitness. We're going to see the options. So it already have a nice image. It's missing an icon, but it's just if we're going to use the widgets, more categories with icons. And here the most important thing. So we have the SEO options. So I have the page title, the URL, meta keywords, and description already filled. Let me just improve this a little bit. And a great tip, an advanced tip, is to use this content part to optimize the page. What it means? It means that we can add title tags such as H2 and H3, bullet points, internal links, all other items that helps to improve your SEO. And Google will understand your site better because you are describing more in more details the keywords you are targeting and what you have on your pages. So when you use this part of content, let me show you what happens on the page. Still loading here. Let's wait a little bit. Okay, I have the page already done here. That's it. When you go to the categories pages, you have this additional text. If you have more text on your pages, it means that you have more words and keywords. So that's how Google is going to read your pages, and it helps on the ranking factors. So for as a standard, the H1 title tag, you can have just one H1 title tag. Using the HTML editor for the categories, you can add a second H1 title tag, but it's not recommended for SEO. So the recommendation is add another H2 or H3 to respect this hierarchy of contents, so you don't get penalized by Google algorithm. So internal links are good things. This is so the H1, this is an H2 title tag, and so on. You can add here more images, for example, another internal and external links as well. You can do that. I have just one internal here, but for example, I can list here another different categories or another pages of my website.
Or if you happen to have content written, blog entries or articles that are related to specific categories, you can link into them there as well.
Yeah, sure. It's a great idea. Even if to create like a top 10 beauty and fitness gyms in San Francisco, for example, you can have this and sell this sponsor content on your blog, on an article, and link this article here as well. It helps on exposure of your advertisers and on SEO as well, because you are using an internal link.
Emerson, we just had a question come in from Kevin, which is, what is an H1, H2, H3? So H1 is H1, H2, and 3 are HTML tags. They're actually in the code. If you hit like view source, you can see them, but essentially it's like a bracket H1 and then a close, and then it has the name of the category or whatever text in there. And essentially it is HTML code that's like a header 1, header 2, header 3. It says that content is the header, and H1 is the big one, and then H2, H3, I think they go even more than that, 4, 5, etc. With that. And with regards to that, there's the very good intro on SEO on Moz.com. If you read their intro to SEO guide, you'll see a bunch of stuff about all these little specifics there.
Okay, thanks for the input, James. So just to show you how it works on, so here, we have this HTML editor for categories. It's a plugin for listings, classifieds, etc. But for categories and articles and blog, it's built in. So we're going to type our text, then we're going to select what kind of title tag we're going to have. So avoid using H1 if we're editing an existing page. So you can use from 2 to 6. It will change size and format, but you can edit this to match our current.
Anderson, can you hit the source button on that widget? I just want to show them what it looks like. Do you see how it says? Yeah, H2 there. Yeah. You see how it says H2 there, and then there's some text inside of that. So that's what the H2 is, and there's an H1. That information comes out as a header. That's basically what it is, just to show you.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Let me just zoom out again. Okay, basically that's it. And the next step of optimization would be to work on your homepage, but it's a topic for a new and dedicated webinar. So I'm just going to show you just a quick overview, and then we can open for more questions. Okay. So on the page editor, we can edit the homepage, of course. And this is the homepage. The widgets you already know. This most common search box widget contains the H1 title tag, which is the main and first line here, and the H2 tag is this one. So if you're going to optimize for the H1 title tag, which is the most important for your homepage, you should be looking to edit this on the search box widget. So let me show you real quick. This one, search label 1 is the same as the H1 title tag, and search label 2, the H2 title tag. So it's pretty simple to optimize that. All the other widgets we have on the website, like this popular deals, this is an H2 tag. So it counts on what Google is reading on your homepage, for example. So if you have a lot of H2s, Google will understand that specific homepage talks about different things, and that's what makes your homepage relevant and helps on the rankings. If you are not using this kind of search bar widget, there's a simple version that's just the search field. Be sure to use the custom contents widgets that you can add. This one, custom contents. So you can have access to this the same structure of this HTML editor and then create a text. The important thing is always use at least one H1 title tag on your pages to avoid get penalty from Google algorithm. So if you are not using the classic search bar widgets, be sure to place an H1 title tag using the custom content widget. Other than that, is just try to look for the search reports we have here that shows you what people is looking for inside your website. I don't have the data here because it's a demo website. Maybe if I change the year, maybe I can have something to show. Yeah, here I have. So I have some dummy data here that does not show me a lot, but here I have auto parts. So if I see that people inside my websites looking more for one category than another, so I'm going to highlight first this category that has more internal searches. It makes sense because it helps to deliver the content for my users in a fast way, and also helps Google to identify that my users like auto parts, have this category for autos and auto parts, etc. It brings this relevance that Google is looking to identify and make your website ranks well. I guess that's pretty much it, James. If you have anything to add, or let's just open for questions.
Yeah, we're open for questions. We had a couple questions come in already. Let me just jump in and
okay,
and answer them here. First question: how should subcategories be used? I don't know if it should be a main or a subcategory very often. Yeah, that's a good question. It's there's certainly a lot of decisions you need to make around structuring your data. I actually, so here's the thing with SEO, the category, subcategory, Google can bring visitors in right into the depths of your directory already for specific things. And much of what you want to do is understand if a visitor happens to go to your homepage and then needs to browse through, what are they going to kind of, they don't want to see 200-300 categories there at the top. So you probably want to make your category list small enough where it fits above the fold, or it looks like a tight group that people can quickly scan and kind of browse down through. I think otherwise it just is sort of just the decision you need to make. In the old days, print yellow pages had they didn't have as much depth to them. They were much flatter in terms of they had a lot more categories. In the US, there's a standard industry classification codes, which are SIC codes, which much data is classified by. And it's a very, very long list without too much depth to it. We typically recommend more depth for that. So yeah, it's up to you. It depends on your subject matter, etc. But look how it's going to lay out on the page and how people are going to use it, and if it's a good user experience for somebody trying to get down into the bottom of the directory for that. So hopefully that answered that a little bit. Next question in the SEO. We have one come in through the chat from Beverly. Come to the realization that the payment portal option is important for optimizing subscription and convincing potential sponsors. Do you have plans to include diverse payment portal options like M-Pesa? I think M-Pesa is an African gateway. Yes, we are looking at our gateways and seeing sort of what we can do and expand there. We don't have an option for that out of the box right now. I think that is something we can certainly customize for you if you do need that. The Stripe gateway in the US is actually going pretty global pretty quickly. I think they cover most of Europe. So in terms of gateway, this isn't an SEO question at all, but we can customize that one. We're certainly looking at expanding them in the future as well. All right. Another question from Beverly. In addition to content and SEO, oh, that's the question. Okay, so got that one. And we can follow up with you on that if you need to see what's involved in customizing the that gateway. How often should we submit the sitemap to search engines? So the question from Sean, thanks for the question. Yeah, so the thing about the sitemap is eDirectory has a system on the back end in the background that runs and updates regularly. I think it's nightly or something. And so if you add a new listing, the new listing is automatically added to the sitemap. The sitemap, once you submit it once, Google regularly goes out and pulls the sitemap to see if you've made any adjustments to it. And so you don't need to resubmit it regularly at all. Once it's submitted, the sitemap is updated and Google automatically finds it. So hopefully that answers that.
Just to add one thing here, if you're in a rush to index one or another page, you can request indexing that specific URL. There's a tool inside Google Search Console for that. But if you can wait a day or two or a week or two, you can just wait for Google to naturally discover this page.
Yeah, so if you add a new listing and just want to make sure it's indexed immediately, you can go ahead and submit it through that individual page. Otherwise, Google will pick up the sitemap over time and do that. Next question. I have a question about link building for directory sites. Does allowing businesses to put their links in my directory affect my my SEO? Also, you need inbound. Okay, so just in terms of that, I think the links are actually set to no follow in the code by default. Just for your own SEO benefit. And so I don't think there's any negative effect from having these outbound links. Correct, Emerson? Yeah. So yeah, and it helps your users. You need to have a good user experience. Users want to go and visit those sites and visit those sponsors of yours, et cetera. So put those links in there. I also heard you need inbound links for quality sites. Absolutely true. Good balance of inbound and outbound links, how to address this issue. Yeah, so go out, try to build all the links you can for inbound. The outbound, I think the directory listings, it has a no follow on there, so there's no sort of dilution effect for that for you. Your other content, if you're linking to other things, be careful about what you're linking to, making sure it's relevant, all that sort of thing for that. Hope that answers that.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, just the banners have the do follow type of links that shares the SEO juice from your domain to the external link you have. So you don't need to worry about the outbound links you have on your website. Just be sure to have good quality contents and not spam listings and this really, really bad external links. That's pretty much it.
Okay. We had a question here about a news website. How to do SEO work for a news website. We have loads of content to be published on the website, numbered to like 1,000 or more. Is there any tool we can use to help our content optimized accordingly for that? I think you just need to get in there and do it. I don't know there's a tool to sort of do this stuff automatically. I've heard some, I've heard some chatter about some AI tools you can get to hook up and do, artificial intelligence optimization. I don't think that works all that great. I haven't heard of any that are working great. I think it just kind of really at the end of the day, when you're doing the optimization, you need to understand that user intent and what people are looking for and make sure you have a good experience for that. I don't know news is different much than any other type of content, except maybe there's a date and some other tags to it for that, as far as that goes. If that answers that. Which is more priority, on page or off page for a news website or other content? On-site, off-site SEO. I don't know if one is more. I heard maybe the offsite is worth more, slightly more than on-page SEO. Like the links into your content, which is other places linking, will affect your ranking probably more than just you optimizing your content on your page. Emerson, do you have any thoughts on that? On-page versus off-page SEO? And
both are important. The thing is that the on-page websites are almost already done. As I can say, the HTML structure eDirectory uses, the markup schema data that's in there, so you don't need to worry about it. Google can read your content accordingly. It didn't understand which is listings, what is an event, what's an article on a blog post. You don't have to worry about it. So try to focus on this offsite strategy for your news websites. And of course, the on-page you have to do is the basic SEO for title, page title, description, keywords, this kind of things. But you can focus your efforts on the off-page, like backlinks and this kind of SEO items.
Okay, great. Is there a recording of the webinar? Yes, there is a recording. Emerson will post it, I think, to our blog or something shortly, right? After in a day or so, it'll pop up here. All right. Next question, link building. I read somewhere Google hates buying links, paid links. How is that relevant? Buying links, etc. I think that relates to sort of link spam, and if the links are sort of authentic and organic versus paid links. I mean, at the end of the day, you can probably pay somebody to build the organic links, right, Emerson? You just don't want it to be standard.
Yeah, there are. It was an old strategy that's now a black hat strategy for SEO. So try to avoid buying links. You can hire someone to get natural organic backlinks, which is the good thing. But don't buy these links. It's bad for your business.
Okay. Next question. Does it hurt your established SEO to change the page name? I suspect it has some effect, right? If you change your page name and it was you were ranking for some keyword and now
yeah,
another keyword. Yeah, so it probably has some effect there. The URL also has an effect, obviously, as well, right, Emerson, for that?
Yeah, page title, keyword description, this starter pack of SEO. Every change you do in there can impact your rankings. But if you're trying to optimize, you can expect to see a flotation on the rankings. You are going to lose some traffic. But then if you're optimizing it in the right way, you can see the ranks go up on the new keyword. It would be good as well if you have access to the source code, trying to set a redirectory, 301 redirect from the old URL. If you're changing the URL of your page to the new one, so you don't lose this traffic. It's very important, and it helps to reduce the loss on your rankings.
Do you have any specific tips for optimizing blogs beyond the content value itself? Let me see. Emerson may have some more thoughts. I think my specific tips on the blogs is, when you're writing the posts, is probably understand, do that keyword research at the beginning and sort of understand what is the main topic of the blog and what are the related keywords to it. And then can you write content around those? And then just don't make it too spammy where you're just stuffing the keywords in there just to have them, but actually try to make it stuff that people want to read for that. Emerson, any thoughts on?
Yeah, and my thoughts may look silly, but it's really important. First, try to avoid keyword stuffing, like putting the keyword several times on the same paragraph. It's not good. And use the different title tags, the H2, H3 for each topic. Like a new paragraph is a new topic. Bullet points are important as well, because the Google crawler will see that you have this structure. Your ideas are follow a structure, so it may be clear for the audience. So it helps on Google side as well. And that's pretty much it. Use these H title tags, bullet points, and put some images in there as well. Internal links is very important too. These you can add on your blog post very easily.
Okay, great. Question about the next update to eDirectory. We're working on it, man. We're working really hard. We have a team of developers working on it. It'll be out. We don't have a firm date yet. Before the end of the year is best I can say at this point. We got some good stuff coming though for the next version. All right. When businesses post their info and links into your directory, does it affect their SEO negative? It doesn't affect their SEO negatively, right? No, I don't know. There shouldn't be any negative effect. It should be helpful, I guess, just getting their brand and everything out there with that. Can we stick over Search Console and move into SEO, SEMrush or Mozbar? Please advise.
I can answer that, James. I'm sorry to jump in. These are different tools for different objectives. Search Console will give you a sharp vision about your organic traffic. SEMrush, Moz, Ubersuggest, Ahref. These are different tools that you can just not just use see the keywords and organic traffic. You can mix paid traffic. You can see the competition. You can see backlinks opportunities. So it's good to use both, not just one or another.
Okay, great. Question, will the update have M-Pesa? I don't believe it will, unfortunately. I will check that, and when we follow up with you, we'll confirm that. But I think we don't. I think we did some work on the Stripe gateway, but I think this one didn't, unfortunately, have the M-Pesa make the cut there. Sorry about that. Will the new version be added to the current sites? Yeah, so the answer on how the upgrades process, basically, if you're on a monthly version and you want to have an upgrade, it's included in the monthly cost, and then you just send our support an email to say, hey, please put me in the upgrade queue, and then we'll do that. There's a process behind running the upgrades, and so it isn't something that it just comes out, because many people have customized sites, or they have SEO and they don't want to have the SEO rank affected if there's some changes to some of the layout on some of the widgets or something. So we try not to touch anybody's site without them requesting it, et cetera, as far as the upgrades go. If you're on an owned license, then you just need the sort of the annual support contract, and then you're also able to get the upgrade. So yeah, when the new version's out, you just send us a note saying, hey, please upgrade, and then we'll put you in the queue for that. Okay, I think that's all the questions. We have one more. We have a couple more come in. Last query: how does page speed help in page rank and search engines? Page speed, very, very important. To have fast page speed. That's actually one big thing we're working on with the new update here, is to just make sure we're lightning fast, as far as that goes. We put some time into it before. There's still a lot of stuff to do in terms of image optimization, et cetera. So working on that. Page speed helps. Google puts faster sites up first. So that's that. Completely different question. Can we change eDirectory logins? Yes, you can change your eDirectory login. Just send support an email if you need to do that, or you can actually do it yourself in the site manager. You log in, there's a little gear, and then you go in there to accounts, and you can edit your passwords and that sort of thing for your eDirectory login. Change your eDirectory login based on phone number, not email address. Yeah, you could do that. Be a small customization if you wanted to have sponsors log in with phone number instead of email address. You could certainly do that. If people are still using phone numbers, I don't know. I guess maybe they are today, huh? Everybody's using WhatsApp and everything like that. Yeah, reach out to your account executive if you want to see how to change it to phone number. I think it's not a big deal to do that, but it's certainly a little custom feature. Last question: standard page speed to target for. I think it's just a general question about page speed. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that go into page speed. A lot of it actually is the content that you load into eDirectory. Are your images big? Are they small? Are they optimized for web? All that sort of thing that goes into page speed. A whole bunch of pieces to that for that. So.
And it's important to add that external scripts also helps to decrease the results on the page speed. So if you have anything very heavy as a script,
stuff in the content areas, heavy stuff, try to avoid that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, great. Thanks for all the questions today. Thanks for joining us, and thanks, Emerson. Any final comments for people?
No, I'm just posting our emails on the chat box here, so you can reach out to me or James, depending on your questions, and also the link for our Facebook group. You can join us there and reach me out there as well if you need. So that's it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, and I just wanted to close just by saying again, SEO is certainly super important. But at the end of the day, it's the quality of content that often makes the bigger difference. So I recommend everybody try to really work on your content and be patient. It does take some time for Google to get everything indexed and decide who's up front and all that sort of thing as well. So stay on it. All right. Okay, thanks a lot. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.